I think I may have stumbled on what I think is the best material for engraving images. Today on Laser Nug. Welcome back to the channel. I know a lot of people like to try to put images on wood, and it's a big thing. Personally, I'm not a big fan. I did do it for a while, and I'll throw a video up here with some of my settings from the Bolt about 1.5 years ago. And you folks know that in the past, I've also played with doing photo images on acrylic, clear acrylic. And I'll put a link to that video there if you're interested. And you can also use a mirrored acrylic if you'd like. Key here being, of course, it always looks better if you've got something white behind the engrave, so it kind of helps to make it pop a bit. However, you may recall that I introduced you folks to a product by Rowmark called ColourCast acrylic. It was about 7-8 months ago. I'll put a link to that video here. I've still kept that first test piece, and what I loved about the effect of this ColourCast is that it's actually a clear acrylic, but it has a coating on one side, and the way they've made the acrylic, it almost makes it look like it's coated on both sides. It's black? Not really, but it has a great effect if you're doing things like lettering, different designs, and you're putting it into a sign or some creation. It just gives some great depth and almost a 3D effect to it. But I was hanging around with my coffee this morning. And of course, now that I've got a couple of days after the rush, everything's over, I always like to play with materials, retest different settings, try to refine my settings on my Nova Plus or my Bolt. And it dawned on me with this ColourCast product that being that it has this one layer and it's got that thick, clear acrylic in the middle, might be a great opportunity to give it a shot. And I did. And I think I've just found the perfect material for doing photo imaging. It literally looks like a normal black and white picture. It's that crisp, that detail. I'll focus you in so you can see the different colors in the brick, the iron railing, the pleats in my pants. And I have to say, this is probably the best material so far I've tried and the best result I've got. So, 3 times the charm. I've tested it now with 2 different types of photos or different exposures. 2 for 2 so far. I'm going to give it one more try with a different exposure or a different picture to see if I still get the same detail. So let's clear the workbench off, jump into LightBurn. I'll walk you through my steps, how I do it, and I'll give you my settings. Let's go. Okay, we open LightBurn up. I'm just going to grab a JPEG image that I've already got on my desktop. I'm sure you have plenty that you can drop in from Christmas. Oh, look at that. It's me and my lovely wife. I'm just going to turn it. And I want to mask this to a 5x7. So I'm just going to shrink it down a little bit. Bring it into my workbed. And let's grab a rectangle. And I'm going to open my aspect ratio up here, and I just want to make it a 5x7. Okay, I'm going to close that ratio. Now let me see if I can make this red. It might be easier. Let me see. Okay, great. I'm going to grab my image, press and hold my shift. I'm going to grab that rectangle, and I'm going to apply mask to image. What I did there is I right-clicked on the image, and you'll see that has resized my picture. And now in order to finish, I'm going to right-click it again, and I'm going to flatten it. And now we've got it resized, and I think I have all the components I want. I picked this picture not just because my wonderful wife's in it, but also because there's a lot of details in the back, and I want to see how that engraves with the settings I've created. We've got an image, so I'm going to right-click again, and I'm going to click on Adjust Image. Now, just for disclosure, I don't have a photography background. I still don't really get what gamma and contrast, brightness, enhance radius, enhance amount. I don't really know how those not only impact the picture, but more importantly, how LightBurn interprets it to the laser. However, after a whole lot of testing on different materials, these are the settings that I think work best for me. I call them my Jarvis settings. I've got them here as a preset now. And that's going to change that picture. And I'll just give you 1 minute so you can catch all my settings. You want image mode being Jarvis. I've got it at 1000 DPI, which I don't need. We'll change that in a minute. Contrast at 8, brightness at 2, gamma I've reduced to 0.45, enhance radius to 21, enhance amount 430. And I'm going to click that. I'm going to come down here into my material library, and we're using Rowmark ColourCast. And I've already saved these for an engrave. I've got an image engrave with my 1.5-inch lens. I'm going to assign that to my 00 layer above. There we go. And let's just click on that. I've got 400 millimeters a second at 20 max, 10 min, no air, image mode. And you'll see I've changed the LPI or the DPI to 400. And it was just a minute ago on my preset at 1000. And I'm in Jarvis, as you know, and I'm one pass. And the key here, you'll notice I put negative image on here. It's been turned on. Important when you're dealing with acrylics. I've got a picture here. It's 5x7. What I'm going to do is create a cut line, probably about 1/2 inch roughly on either side, because I would need to put a piece behind it. You'll see that in a minute. So I'm going to grab my rectangle again, press Shift, undo the aspect ratio. Let's make that 6x8, kind of like a frame. I'm going to lock that again. I'm going to click my select tool. I'm going to right click and I'm going to duplicate that. You'll see why shortly. I'm going to put that over here, and I'm going to grab my cut layer. I'm going to hover it over. I'm going to press and hold my Shift, click my image, and I'm going to come up here to my target, so I put it right smack in the center. And we're going to just group those together. When you take a look at the preview, it's going to look wonky. It always does. Okay, my settings are in. I've got a cut line around it. This guy here, I'm just going to change that to blue. My red layer is my cut layer, so I'm just going to highlight that. I'm going to come down to my material library. I'm going to come down under Rowmark ColourCast again. There's my 6mm cut. 1.5-inch lens, and I'm going to assign that. For my blue layer here, I've got a line. I'm going to come down to my material library, and I'm going to use some white True Flat as a backer. So there's my True Flat mask, 3.17 cut, 1.5-inch lens. I'm going to assign that to my blue layer. So let's highlight our project. I've got user origin in the top left. I have my image before my cut line. Excellent. Let's send it to the bolt. You'll notice that when you're dealing with images, it always takes a lot longer for LightBurn to send the file, because there's a lot more information in that file than just a regular everyday engrave. I'm going to remove my plastic off the face. I'll leave it on the bottom, the part that's facing down on my honeycomb, and then we'll get it fired up in the bolt. I'm using the 1.5-inch lens today. First thing I'm going to do is autofocus. I've checked to make sure my picture is in the window on the display, so I know the file's gone successfully. Once we're autofocused, I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to set my origin. Origin is set. Let's frame our job. Okay, we'll shut her down. Let's get engraving. What I'd ask is you may want to observe just how cleanly, once again, the bolt engraves acrylics. You'll notice I've not raised the acrylics off of the honeycomb. I haven't smeared any type of dish soap or WD-40 or mask on it. I'm cutting clean right on the raw acrylic, just as you see it. The exhaust is doing an excellent job. You can see that the smoke is being drawn right into the back of the machine, which is why I don't smell anything here in my tiny little workshop. Just a quick reminder, when you're dealing with the ColourCast, you need to ensure that the engraved layer is always facing up. Obviously, if you're engraving, you need the engraved layer facing up, but even if you're cutting only, to cut out shapes, you still face your engraved layer up. And that includes when you're putting a 3M or a dual tight on top of it. If you've cut with it facing down, I don't know why it always flames out on me, constantly. Whether it's in the Nova Plus or the bolt, every time I've done it, it always causes flaming, and a lot of flaming. But if you cut it with the engrave up, it always cuts nice and clean, right through the 3M, right through the product. I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but I can see towards the bottom of the picture, it looks like I've got a little bit of, I think what they call banding, which means I'm gonna have to rerun this at a different LPI and see if I can get rid of that. The rest of the picture from just above my hand all the way up is clean, but that part where the carpet is behind us, I can see some lines in there. My blue cut layer for white true flat. I'm going to use this as a backer behind the picture. Just water and a cloth. That's what I love about true flat. So a couple of questions. Why the true flat white? I found whenever you're working with acrylics, you can get a nice, beautiful engrave, but it looks a whole lot better if you put a white backer behind it. Kind of makes the engrave pop. So that's why I've cut that out. Why did I do a second version? Here's why. Little surprising, unexpected tip. I'm gonna hold this up and I'm gonna try to focus in. And if you look really closely from about here to here on the picture, right across horizontally, you'll see lines in this picture. Surprising, the other two pictures or test pictures didn't have this at all, but for some reason this one did. Nothing from here all the way up, everything's perfect. You can see all the 3D, the detail in all the molding, the ornaments, your shelf, you can see the shadowing, you can see that inset, everything is beautiful. I love this material. However, this happened. If you've been using lasers for a while, you know what it is. If you're brand new with lasers, they call it banding. I can't give you the exact technical reason it occurs, but I'll give it to you in my layman's terms. Whether you're using wood, acrylics, leatherette, doesn't matter what you're engraving, sometimes you get what I'd call a conflict between your LPI or DPI and the output, perhaps the wavelength and or frequency of the laser you're using. And when you get that conflict, you get what you call banding. And that's these horizontal lines through this picture. Surprising I didn't get it on the last two, and surprising that I'm only getting it down here. I'm not sure why that is. I got nothing the rest of the way up. But either way, the best way to resolve that is to change your LPI. So in this case, I ran a second version just to test it, and as you can see, that came out much nicer. So originally the settings I gave you a few minutes ago were at 400. I changed it to 475, and you'll see I've eliminated it all. I can see very, very light lines through my wife's dress. So what I'll probably do is bump it up to 485 or 500 to make sure I can get rid of that little bit that's left. But as you can see, all of it everywhere else is totally gone. And the only thing I had to do was change my LPI to a different number. Hope you find that helpful if you run into that problem. Banding. Another benefit of this ColourCast is you can see it from either side. This is your 3M 9448A. I get it in these 1/4-inch strips, which saves a lot of money from having to use an entire sheet. I get them from Wishing Star Design out in Alberta. They also have different other shapes, small circles, 1/2 inch, 1 inch. And I just find, especially when you're doing borders such as this, it's a lot less waste because you can just fit it into your border and you don't have to mess around with a large sheet. And this is why I always make my borders at least 3/8 of an inch in width so that I can make sure I can use this product. And for reference, this 9448A, similar to the 467MP, is rated for indoor and outdoor adhesion down to -40 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit. They're the same. So that's a wrap, my friends. My bolt never ceases to amaze me. By all means, as you get more and more experience on your laser, try different things, try new things. Never leave the laser alone, especially when you're testing. But every once in a while, you're going to stumble on something that just turns out far better than you thought it was going to. Have a wonderful week. Happy New Year to all of you. Please be kind, and I'll see you again right here. I'm Gord Potter, and you've been watching Laser Nug. Cheers.